good day everybody and welcome back here to my channel. Today we are trying to adapt to the meta game again. So let me start with the biggest changes here, which have happened in the 3 mana slots. I cut both Nimble and Brazen Borer. I'll get to why in just a second. But to accommodate those, I added another Swamp here and I cut the Mystic Sanctuary that we're playing here before. The rest of the deck remains quite the same. With having Kroxa here in the deck, we can get a little bit more mid-rangey or become more mid-rangey and don't necessarily need flash threats at the end of turn. Ashiok also a card that can enable Kroxa by targeting ourselves and building 4 for us and then exiling our opponent's graveyard. Now to why we're playing them. So on the one hand, of course, Titan decks are pretty big right now. But on the other hand, though, there's a lot of graveyard utility interaction going on right now. People are just packing tons of Kroxa, Uro, all that kind of jazz. And then there is Jund as well. One of the main reasons why I'm cutting especially Brazen Borer, because we cannot utilize it in a different way other than just bouncing something. And Ren 6 is so prevalent, as well as just making it harder to erase through many decks playing Urza, etc. So that I actually don't want to have the Brazen Borer right now. There's also not a whole lot that I really need to bounce, especially if I have another basic land in here and we're a little bit better against Blood Moons in general. Then there is Liliana Last Hope, specifically to have a repeatable just ping down kill effect against small creatures, against humans or Soul Herder or whatever. Any type of creature deck, and of course also control decks that are running both Snapcaster Mage and or Ice Fang Koala. So there, she's just really great. She's also in the big mana matchups, she's just a clock that ticks up a couple of times, and so she goes to 4 when she comes down, and then 3 turns later she can already ultimate. And from there, like, I've never lost a game when I ultimated my Liliana. Yeah, and the Ashiok, as I said, like big mana and also taking care of your opponent's graveyard, especially here again against all the decks that are running both Ren 6 and Kroxa or Uro and maybe a Snapcaster Mage or whatever. There's just so much interaction going on right now, casually, that I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of utility or speed in order to pack these in. So then onto the sideboard. So by changing our main board this way, we are a little bit weaker to combo decks in general. So ad nauseam, to a degree also to Neobrand, but it depends if they have to search something or not, and we have an Ashiok in play, so that's always back and forth. And we're definitely weaker to like burn, etc., because we can raise them worse, and Liliana doesn't do a whole lot there. So in the sideboard, I accommodated for that by adding 2 collective brutalities again to our sideboard. Then something that I actually got from the Grixis Shadow Discord channel, because I don't think that a whole bunch of other decks are playing Aethergust right now. But of course it's a very nice addition to any deck that has to play around a Titan off of a Cavern of Souls. So we can still counter it or put it back to the top or the bottom of the library. Sadly we don't get to choose, but still pretty good, and potentially that gives us the turn where we can go with a Kolaghan's Command in order to like discard whatever they draw. Aethergust is just good for us, giving us a turn and giving us information. That's really important, like giving us the information to then utilize our next turn to really get ahead or punish him for whatever he is going to draw. So Flusterstorm for the combo matchups, especially ad nauseam, I'm a little bit concerned. Like all the combo decks, even ad nauseam, which is typically not playing green at all, is now running 4 Veils of Summer, which is just insane. So we really need Flusterstorm and Cyborg right now. I cut down to 1 Grim Lavamancer, but I still wanted to maintain 1 because it's also good against Stoneforge Mystic, and of course, as Liliana Lasso, against a couple of other value creatures on 1 or 2 toughness. Fatal Push, as always, in here. And then I added Plague Engineer to Fulminator Mages to go a little bit deeper against the big mana decks, especially also Tron, because while Ashiok is really good against Titan decks or Titan Shift decks, we really can't utilize it against Eldrazi Tron whatsoever. Therefore, I still wanted to have a Fulminator Mage or 2 in the board, and then there's Kalitas as always. So, 1 or 2 more words to what you can expect this weekend. I got a couple of things in the pipeline. I let my patrons vote and decide on what they would like to see. So I'm currently working on a visual sideboard guide, a paper sideboard guide that you can then print out. There's just so many matchups that I want to cover and that have to be differentiated between, that I'm already working hours and hours on that one, or on the visual, actually on both. Then I want to do a new video series on the modern metagame, because I don't see anyone really covering it, like where we just talk about the modern metagame. Like I do it frequently in my videos as well, but without visualization and just to a partial degree. So I want to give you the full view and the cards that you can utilize so that you can, whenever you go to your local game store or whatever, a certain contained meta that you can make assumptions about, that you can just adapt your sideboard better, or also your main board better, to the cause. Yeah, so those 2 are coming up. Then I also made a much more beautiful thumbnail that you will have already seen when I upload this. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Spent a lot of time last week doing all that stuff, and that will definitely come this weekend. There will also be a new side series, probably Band Stoneblade or something, that I will just feature frequently from now on, or for the next couple of weeks. Maybe even Blue Eye Control. I really think that Elspeth Sun's Nemesis in Blue Eye Control really does a good job. And so yeah, that's it for the intro, and then we'll jump to the first gameplay here. Drop from the league and switch a couple of things back. Especially here the Bloodstain Mires, but then I also cut the Ether Gusts and put the Jigsaw Jailers again, because although everything that I did before remains true, I don't actually want to change too much right now. I just want to see how this functions first in this iteration, and then I can still make changes about it. In other news, so I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'm a really big Star Trek fan. I mean, I'm a nerd, of course, but I was really hyped for Star Trek Picard. Really. I mean, he's a fan favorite anyway. Nope, can't keep this. Patrick Stewart. So I'm gonna ditch a Bloodstain Mire here. We're on the draw. And we're playing against something red. That is not good. So I'm inclined here to shock the steam vents instead of going with the polluted delta because I probably need to have a red, and I don't want to. Go with that. So I really love Star Trek, and I was a big fan of Star Trek Next Generation, and of course Picard. So this one's not yet something that I want. That is better. But the new Star Trek Picard, man. Dude, you can hardly watch it. That's really... What did they do to my boy? You know, I need the... I don't call Leon a meme right now. They slaughtered my boy. It's really, really difficult to watch. It's really, really hard. So can't counter this, even if we wanted to. There's the lightning bolt and the lava dart, so very good for our opponent here. We do have 2 collective fatalities in the sideboard. I expect him to also go with lava dart here. Lightning bolt, sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If I play the Jays, then he might be inclined to lava dart it twice. I don't actually know if that's something that I want or something that I do not want. It doesn't appear to have more creatures, therefore just gonna play the Jace here. Maybe soaks a little bit of damage. Should not be able to play a... Alright, so apparently not soaking any damage here. Monomorphose. So Monomorphose is good because that enables him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. If he wants to, then he can play a Bedlam Reveler here. Alright. Soul Scar Mage. At some point we might want to have that, but right now I don't think that's the case. 'Yeah, this is gonna be problematic. So he's gonna go... Shit. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. So now I can at least go fetch this for a basic. Kill the Swift Spear. And just bounce the Soul Skull Mage. That way we only take 3 damage here. And we potentially also survive another turn. But it is getting rough here. It is getting rough. So pretty sure that there is a Bedlam Reveler overlooking. Alright, there is not. So it doesn't make a difference for him since we're at 1 life then anyway. Okay. Return and draw card. Because I still need to get rid of it at some point. No. Not really what I wanted to see. Snapcaster Mage is slightly better. That's also one of the reasons why I wanted to have him actually play that. Lava Dart there. No way. And that's your top deck. This is so fucked up. Fuck my life. Oh man. Alright, we're bringing in the failed pushes, we're bringing in the collective fatalities, taking out the Jaces. Caldido's coming in. Nimble's out. Actually, Brazen Boar is also gonna go. I guess we could be playing the Ashioks. But it is mediocre at best. And I'm gonna shock here in the Polluted Delta for a blood crit so that I can play the Water Grave, tap turn 2, and potentially still have a removal spell up. Never mind. Good top deck here. So this one tapped, that one dies. I could have, of course, also gone with Collective Fatality and taken him his Lava Spike here. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, dude. Alright, taking 5, going down to 11. Because the Croxa isn't really great in our hand right now, I think I'm just gonna ditch it. Minus N2 life. Yeah. Not a whole lot that I want from that right now. And here, I could be thinking about just playing the Snapcaster Mage. But I think I'm just gonna wait here for a potential Shrine of the Burning Rage. Well, that is not a big deal. Return and destroy artifact. This way we're just dealing 1 extra damage here in comparison to the K command, and with the alt here I'm fine with that anyway. So Yeah, I always wonder why my opponents are bringing in Shrine of the Burning Rage against a deck that is running massive amounts of Coil of Arms commands. Alright, so apparently we are not drawing more lands here. Steam Kit. Then. That means that the recording is gone, right? So not sure. It's possible that you just aren't there anymore. I'll just continue talking. Alright, so now we do have a counter spell, and as soon as we can get Croxa off its grave. Oh, can't really do anything about that one. And of course, this is kind of provocative, but I get a card for it anyway, so. I'll put it on the bottom. Dude, are you for real? So we've had a look at, I don't know, way over 20 cards here. And we are not finding anything. Nothing of use, at least. Steam Kid, sure. Dude, I just want to have a land. Any land. Yeah, next time maybe. Next time, baby. Of course, with Croxa, oh my god, Croxa threatening him to discard the card. Yeah, I don't actually care. Just want to find fucking land. Fucking land. I can. That one's fine as well. Dude. So I wouldn't expect him to block here anyway, but I think that's still fine. You know what? I'm just gonna counter this due to the fact that 4/5. No. Return and discard. Sure. Very unlikely that he finds something that he can play. No. Dude. This is just fucking ridiculous. So I don't really have anything to play anyway. Except for maybe getting rid of a... well, I'm just gonna ditch the Flusterstorm. Because the only objective that I have is getting around a Bedlam Reveler. The rest is close to irrelevant. Alright, a lightning bolt. So we managed we managed to look at well beyond 30 cards of our library and not find a fourth land. This is just fucking hilarious, man. Dude. So part of me actually wants to have Brazen Borrower back in on the draw. And the reasoning is, on the one hand, of course, we have a little bit more against early creatures coming down. On the other hand, though, I want to be able to bounce Shrines of the Burning Rage and Bedlam Revelers and especially Blood Moons, should they appear. And I think that's a first. I think I've never seen so many cards in a game and just wasn't able to find a fourth land. Like, even of any sort, right? Any fourth land would have been good for us. Nope. Yep, that's better. And I think I'm just gonna ditch the opt here. So we're gonna shock because we're definitely taking more than 2 damage off of that Swift Spear. And let's probably light up the stage. There's a Blood Moon that I was talking about. So let's hope that he does not have a third land. So I assume he doesn't have a mountain in hand, otherwise he would have played it here. Which means potentially the Blood Moon doesn't do anything. And if that were to be the case, then I would want to go with the Creeping Tar Pit here. Because there's basically no incentive playing that Fury Island there. Alright, cool. Got around the first Blood Moon here. And he's looking for a threat. Yes. Good. I do want to have that one. And this one is okay either, I guess. Yep, Shrine of the Burning Rage, sure. Another snap. So, in theory, I would of course like to go with a black-red source of some sort here. But I think I'm actually fetching for a black source, just in case we're running into more Blood Moons and or Yeah, this is like the Soul Skull Mage is bad for its ability. Yeah. So now we're only gaining 2 life a turn, 1 life a turn. But we can of course offset that with the token that we generate here. So we're gaining that life back. And he still needs to find a land to use the Shrine of the Burning Rage in order to kill our Kalitas there. Manual Fools, no, Steep Kid. Yeah, that should actually do it here. So first let me go with a Croxa. Then we're gonna kill the Steamkin, and then next turn we should be able to kill him. And I don't think there's anything that could prevent that. Yep, alright, good. Game 1 here. And see you guys in round number 2. Alright, welcome to round number 2, and we're apparently on the play here. Do have a little bit of an awkward hand, but potentially we will be able to activate our Croxa here. Croxas. Ooh. Alright, so this is probably, most likely, we could balance the expedition map here. And I think I will do that because that will give us 4 additional outs. Either drawing a alright, so it's old school Tron. It's not Eldrazi Tron. And they're starting off with towers here. And Relic. Well, Relic is not super great for us. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so there's nothing that we can draw with our opt to prevent him from going with the expedition map there. Assume that he doesn't have another Tron land here though. Which means potentially he's not gonna be able to play the Relic there. Yeah, I think I need to get the Jace down. Oh shit. No! I clicked on it. No. Ah, he does. Alright. So now hopefully we're just gonna be lucky here and draw a Nimble off the top. I really pretty pissed about that because we would have had another draw here. And that would have been enough to activate our Cryptic. Shit. But I clicked on it, it's just... fuck. So I was obviously looking for a discard spell here. Now, Winkle Engine is okay. We do have ways of getting rid of that. But still, like, we could have had a really good turn there. A really good couple of turns. So apparently it was very eager to prevent that there. So if there's nothing that I really have to counter here, I'm so pissed that I ditched that one turn without playing a land drop. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Counter and return. Okay. So might be willing to go with double Croxa at some point, but I think right now, especially in hindsight of that, do I actually want to flip the Jace yet? Yeah, potentially I do. And this is the reason why. So now I do have the ability, let's see, 6, that's 5. I would have to get rid of all of our stuff in the bin. So I think my goal here is to, yeah, alright, countering stuff here probably won't be super great. At least not at this point. Alright, there's Karn. Karn is not a big deal though. So one should be enough, right? Yep. So this is rather interesting because I can counter the Wurmcoil Engine trigger if I really need to. I could of course also counter the Oblivion Stone trigger. But I'll let him attack. Probably going after our Jace here. Nope. Alright. Taking the 4. Ancient Stirrings is a bad one. But I have to let it resolve. Otherwise I can't deal with the follow-up. Especially if it's a Walking Ballista, then we're straight up dead. Chromatic Sphere. Sure. So I just want to get into a situation here where I am able to get rid of the Wurmcoil Engine here and then potentially go with the Croxa. Sure. Alright. So, we would like you to discard a card and also get rid of this. Okay. So we do have the ability to go with a Croxa here. And we've already gotten rid of a Karn and Nugan, and he was fetching for a Blast Zone, probably especially to get rid of a Croxa. So I'm not sure, like, if he does have Mulamog, of course, then we're dead, but then he would have done it last turn already, right? No, we're gonna wait for one more turn. Yeah, need to let it resolve. I'm basically fine with anything but an Ulamog. Potentially also Wormhole Engine. Well, that is something else that we can't really deal with again. Yeah, so I'm gonna go counter draw. Especially because we also do have Snapcaster Cryptic up, potentially. Dude, I do not understand what's going on here. Yeah, I can do this because of the Cascade Bluffs. And again, I could go with the Croxa, but I'm gonna wait for one more turn, since I'm happy with the ability to go with a Cryptic, I was gonna say. Alright, so Sanctum of Ugin, you say, right? I think the play here is to go with K commands, get back the Nimble, make him discard, so that we can counter an activation from that as well, if we really need to. Okay, that is just something else. And of course, I would have the ability to also go with a Logic Knot, but that's not really appealing since he's got like 2000 mana. And afterwards, we won't be able to go with the Croxa anymore. Alright. So this one comes in tapped. And then we're going to go Brazen Bar. And he's got a couple of turns, therefore it makes no sense going with the Nimble here. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could shock 10 and go with like get a Jace out as well, but that will just give him an additional target for that Blast Zone. That looks to be like something out of a nightmare. So let's see. In case of the Zulamog, I still have Nimble and can go with Logic Knot. If this is a Walking Ballista, which it potentially is. For 10. He's probably going to go with that, right? So I could counter this Sanctum of Ugin and then go snap a Logic Knot. Or I stop the other thing. Like, alternatively, I could also just go with a Snapcaster Mage, bounce the Sanctum here. Because I kind of want to keep the Nimble up. Counter return that. Because then now I can play the Croxa and he can't blast zone it, which means he needs an Ugin to get rid of all of my stuff or another Oblivion Stone, which is somewhat unlikely. Oops. 1, 2. Oh, what? 1, 2, 3, 5. Done. So we need to draw something to activate the Sanctum of Ugin with off the top. Right, that's just Forest. And next turn we have him dead on board. Oh. Okay. Interesting. That cannot have been correct here. Karn. Shit. Yes, so I think I need to counter on the Sanctum of Ugin here. Then the Karn is probably going to get rid of the Croxa. He also does have the Blast Zone. Karn was pretty good here. It indeed was pretty good. So we're probably only gonna deal 4 damage next turn. Yeah, I mean, you gotta go after, yeah. It's like, if you're not going after Croxa here, man, you're signing a death warrant. Alright, I'm gonna wait since we do have a little bit of breathing room in terms of red mana here. No. And now we only need to deal 4 damage to him, which means him, Karn, and he should not be able to do anything about it. Yep. And then we're gonna go red, 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 red. Boom. 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 Bitch. Alright. So don't want to have Brazen Bora. Don't want to have Terminate. For the most part. Ashiok is good to a certain degree, but also not super great. So we could be playing Kalitas. I could see that. Could of course also just keep going with the Brazen Boras. Yeah, come on. I mean, without having access to, and this is really why I usually don't want to play 3 Ashioks in the sideboard, because you need the diversity with Fulminator Mage due to just Tron being a thing. I talked about it before. And here, we potentially get punished for it. We're going to keep. I hope that our opponent doesn't have turn 3 Tron. Never mind. Because sometimes, especially against mid-range decks, they just keep land heavy or discard protected hands. So I, of course, could be going with the Croxa here, but I don't see a whole lot of utility for that right now. Can still bounce something, potentially get rid of something with a Dronaloch, just in case there's a Chromatic Star or something coming on. Yep. Something like that. Yeah. This might be a Threk Tusk. No, not a Threk Tusk. Core Liberated. Sure. So Core Liberated means that there is probably no incentive for me to go with the Ashiok here right now. Next turn, Snapcaster Mage could do something. Aha, that's a Karn being protected by a Veil of Summer. 100%. Alright. Problem is that, of course, I cannot do a whole lot about that right now. Like, bouncing it doesn't do a whole lot. Attacking it also is less than good. So I think I'm just attacking him. If all the options are bad, we're just taking the best bad option. So I think I'm gonna get rid of the Cologons command here. We do have the ability to play the Croxa once we get it out. Wunkel Engine, of course, is not great for us. Alright, let's go with the Croxa first. See if he's gonna ditch the Veil of Summer. Alright, we're just gonna go Thoughtseize here and then Whoa, what a surprise. So well played. Great job, opponent. Yeah. So that is that. And here we've seen why the Brazen Mora in many situations just isn't super great. Yeah, I'm still inclined to just keep it this way. Like, ringing the Kali does make a whole lot of sense. We have pretty good mana. And we do have a turn 2 Jace to make our hand a little better. Aha. Okay, what are the chances to draw it this way? So this could of course be a turn 3 Tron, this could also not be a turn 3 Tron, we do not know. Fuck. So generally speaking, how likely is it that he does have a turn 3 Tron? Like, he kept the Chromatic Star up here for Veil of Summer, so he's not planning on playing a green something in his turn. I think we're gonna go with Logic Knot. So he definitely has a Veil of Summer here. But he needs to have double green for something substantial. And this doesn't look like a natural Tron. Therefore, I think I'm going to counter this here so that he does not have access to green anymore by just playing Tron lands. Okay, does have another one. Do you also have a land? Alright. So I think I know what we're dealing with here from our opponent. And I hope that we do get this one turn where he potentially doesn't get to, whoops. So we could mill ourselves to just flip the Jace. So pretty sure that our opponent does have something here. Still gonna ditch this one. Alright, let's see. No Tron lands, please. So we just by having Ashiok on the battlefield, we should be shutting down at least a couple of spells. Let's see. So what I could be doing here is I could be targeting my own logic knot with the Jace, and then go with the Thoughtseize. And in order to fuel that, I could Ashiok myself. Then I'm gonna go hit this one. And now I can't Thoughtseize, but I can Inquisition. So let's see if he does have more than just one. Veil of Summer. It's kind of ridiculous that I have to play it this way, but what are you gonna do, right? So this, playing neatly around that Veil of Summer there. And he did indeed have another one. And insane, he's got the quadruple tower. And nothing else. Dude. Alright, so now we've played a little bit awkwardly here, of course, but at least we've gotten rid of two Veils of Summer. And now I'm trying to go with a Snapcaster Mage if nothing else happens. Yeah. Yeah, still gonna go with a Snapcaster Mage here. Then go Opt. K-Command is good, but I want to have a red source first, if possible. Alright, let's Petty Theft that one. Then Thoughtseize him. Alright, and then target him that way. Nature's Claim, Sylvan's Crying, Karn. That is a good one though. So up until now, what have we gotten rid of? We've gotten rid of a Karn, we've gotten rid of a Wormcall Engine, two Veils of Summers. Well, that is probably the best thing that he could hope for to draw. And does have Tron as well. So, as far as we know, there is just these cards in his hand, right? So we've gotten rid of a couple of our red sources already. That means there's only one Steam Vents and one Blood Crypt plus 6 fetches left. So 8 cards out of 35. I think I want to go with, yeah, that is good. And that one I also want to have. So this one comes down, this one goes there. Now I can block it, then go. I mean, they have insane amounts of mana right now, so still kind of ludicrous, but. So I'm really not willing to play around another Veil of Summer. Just can't. So obviously we cannot play it this turn yet, but next turn we will be able to. And at this point I'm asking myself if I should be worried about a potential Walking Ballista. Potentially I should. Yeah, I'm looking for a Colorance command. That's what I was gonna say. I can take a hit of that Warm Call engine, although I don't really necessarily need to. So Brazen Borrow cannot block anyway, so that is irrelevant to for the most part. So what I could do here is, no, what I would like to do would be something different. Yeah, I think for the sake of it, I'm actually playing this a little bit differently. I'm gonna go, oh shit. Yeah, that was a little bit too late. I wanted to do it in his upkeep. Probably doesn't change a whole lot because he didn't play it last turn, whatever he did still have in hand, and therefore it's probably, yeah, he would have discarded that anyway. So I'm gonna take a Blood Crypt. If I let this resolve, what's the worst thing that could happen? I'll let it resolve. Worst thing is probably Ulamog. I thought not is alright. Thought Nauzia is alright. And for the Thought Nauzia, I don't even intend on doing anything here. Just want to have a fourth land so that I do have Cryptic and Crocs up. And then I'm gonna get rid of the Death Touch dude, and that should secure my superiority on the ground. Yeah, this is fine as well. So I could, of course, like bounce a Croxa, bounce something here, but I think that is just too risky. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, probably don't need all of the Snapcasters in my bin. So he's gonna take 3. Then I'm gonna reduce the lifelink dude and just attack in. We only have 5 minutes left on the clock, but that should be enough to finish this up. Yeah, can't let that resolve. So we're gonna go counter draw. Yeah, no, it's fine. So I'm gonna go tap draw here. This is 9, this is 12 plus a tar pit. Yeah, that's it. And we even have potentially also that one. So tap all creatures, draw cards. Oh, sure. Still lethal. Alright. Got there against Tron as well. With an easy 2-1. And let's head on to round number 3. And we're on the play here. With a little bit of an awkward hand, but we do have access to like 4 out of our 5 spells already in terms of playability, and therefore gonna keep here and shock just in case we need to kill something. Otherwise it's awkward with that Dronloch. On turn 2, or a potential Brazen Borer or whatever. Seasoned Pyromancer, alright, so it's some sort of Gruul aggro here, I assume. And that's the type of deck that is also running, I think, Magus of the Moon actually, instead of Blood Moons now. Because many of the Titan decks actually have more problems getting rid of a creature than of a... Yep. So he might not have another source here, another red source in order to play this Seasoned Pyromancer, but we'll be able to counter it anyway, therefore that is not such a big deal. Sideboard wise, of course, we need the Kalitas. Yeah, alright, so he didn't have it indeed. So I'm just gonna counter this. And then potentially bounce the... Alright, okay, good. Third lightning bolt here. If I had known that before, then we could have also just go for the head there. Okay. Just pass turn. Dronloch's not bad, but I really would like to see a land at some point. And he's probably just playing another land here and then going with the... I was gonna say Seasoned Pyromancer, but Glorybringer is also a possibility, I assume. Alright. There we go. Now it's still questionable on whether or not, like, we don't know if they're playing not the right lands, but I guess okay. So I'm gonna keep the Kolaghan's command back for a little bit, since I do have access to Brazen Bora and Snapcasters. But what I was originally saying is that, so he didn't play land, and he also stopped playing anything else. Certainly, potentially, probably doesn't have a Veil of Summermane. Alright, Utopia Sprawl is okay with me. So I can let it attack, otherwise it exerts. Which is a little sad, but he also has to watch out for his own life total, which is already at 12, so below ours. And we do have 2 creatures on the battlefield. So obviously I waited there to not run into another Glory Bringer. Okay. But now you won't be able to... Oh no. Season Pyromancer here as well. We're gonna try to attack here. It's not 100% certain that he's gonna block. Alright. Because of the Keswick Wolf run. There it is. The Magus of the Moon. Yep, I think that's fine. Gonna kill it anyway. Season Pyromancers are somewhat annoying. Don't even know, like, do I care about the Magus? So I think I'm actually gonna wait here. Or do I? I don't want him to activate the Keswick Wolf run, but I need to have the Creeping Torpid at some point. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait one more turn. Since we do have access to enough bolts to just straight up kill him, I just need to unlock the Kolaghan's command once, or Blood Braid. Sure. Light Bolt. Okay. Yes. So that makes it also 3 lightning bolts for our opponent. And that means that I'm gonna go snap here. Block the Magus. Bolt him. Because with 5 damage he should be able to kill us here. And he also played this pretty defensively. Well. So now he has to have another... another lightning bolt. His 4th copy. Yeah, so all the assumptions that I made were actually correct. If they're not... I hope they are not bringing in Blood Moons from the sideboard as well. But Nimble's gonna go. Raisin Borer is still alright, I think. 1.5 Kalitas. And I also want to have Grim Lavamancers. And I'm gonna get rid of those. I guess there's also 1 or 2 reasons for fail push or 2. Let's get rid of Thoughtseize, put in a fail push. Yeah, something like this. So I'm keeping the Brazen Borers around mainly because of potential Blood Moons, or chokes, or boils, or whatever. Well, against boil. Well, that's another topic actually that I want to talk about. Yep. Have a couple of basics here. Let's say Meyer can do good work as well. Arbor Elf. Alright, so I guess it's just swamp, kill the elf. Interesting. Interesting opponent. Interesting choice here. Interesting choices have been made, keeping the one-lander and bringing in the Grafdigger's Cage against a Kolaghan's Command deck. That is okay with me. So we're getting some of this, some of these, some of that. I could play the Grim Lavamancer because the Grafdigger's Cage, of course, can't get around it. Now this is risky. This is indeed risky. So what do I do if my opponent indeed does have a Veil of Summer? Because he must have some other hate, right? Because I really want to use my Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, assumed so, but I do not care. So I'm not gonna... I'm gonna use it for 1, because they could have some Spirit Guides, although I assume that if that were to be the case, then they would have already used it. Yeah, this is actually alright. Again, could be playing the Grim Lavamancer, but keeping up the cryptic commands and just chipping in with the Snapcaster Mage, I think is beneficial, especially if he's going down to 10 here. Oh, Utopia Sprawl. That's very potent. Okay. So what I'm going to do is counter and return that land. So that Utopia Sprawl's gone, and he can't get to 5 mana next turn, which means there's not going to be... Now I can do it. Which means there's not going to be a... Glory Bringer that we necessarily need to stop. Yep. Tomorrow maybe, may. So I think I'm just gonna attack here with both. I have 2 activations out of that Grim Lavamancer. And just in case they were bringing like a... Let's see if they do have Veil of Summer now. Light Bolt. Sure. Another Grim Lavamancer. Alright, bring that one in as well. Shock this one so that we have access to stuff from the graveyard. And next turn we do have lethal both from our Grim Lavamancer, and even if they kill a Lavamancer. Yeah, just think I'm gonna counter this for 2. Because as I said, like, there are many ways that we have lethal next turn, and... Oh yeah, sure. That was actually bad. That was actually bad. Just talking about too many things at once. This is really a problem. Like, sometimes it's just... Well... Then it's over anyway. Alright. GG's for round number 3. Alright, welcome back here to round number 4 against Mag Windsource, who is most of the time playing a banned Snowblade deck with Uro and all that jazz. Which is really annoying. Therefore, I can already tell you if he's on banned Snowblade. Post board, we will probably bring in Grim Lavamancer, Ashiok, and Kalitas. Potentially taking out our own Cruxes, but that's to be seen. Once upon a time, yeah, I think they are playing 2 in their list. Let's see. Does have a spell snare? No. Oh. So it's Timur something. And this is a... Okay. So looks like it's Timur's, but also is still... Alright. So all kinds of interesting stuff here. I guess they could be playing a bunch of counter spells, but not necessarily. Right, really don't want to see the Snapcaster Mage here. Even if he does have a Jace here to follow things up with. Clothis. What the fuck does that do? What does that do? As long as your blah 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 isn't a creature. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a land card, blah. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and close the. Aha. Alright. So it's basically a very slow lightning ball, yes? Alright, I was just gonna say, dude, I really need to find a Brazen Border. Dude. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bounce in now. So target card from a graveyard. So he has to target it, right? That means that I get to respond to it. Let's see. Because best case scenario, of course. Yeah. He has to do something like he prevents this. And then I'm gonna bounce the Clothis so that we just get it off of the fucking battlefield. Yep, lightning bolt, sure. So, Clothis is just very problematic here in a couple different ways. Because we can't really race it. Well, this one helps. Snapcaster. Yep, I think that's fine. I just think I'm gonna leave it open because I should be able to raise Clothis here. Right? Rennet bitch. Well, that's actually worse than Clothis. So 1, 2. Now let's go with 3. Want to have the Thoughtseize and the other thing still available to me if I really want to do something about that. And I could attack, of course, with the Torpid as well. Alright. Now I got something in my eye and it really hurts. Alright, so Croxa probably good. Since they oh my goodness. I already see it coming. It's really so I probably need to have the Brazen because of the Blood Moon, because of Ren and 6, because of Clothis, because of all the fucking cards that nobody can deal with once they resolved. Thanks, Watsy. So what else have we seen? We've seen he's playing Snapcaster Mages, so it's still control type of shell. He should have problems with the Kalitas. I think I'm gonna cut the Cryptics. Don't want to fight that fight up there. I would like to bring in Grimlava Mances, but they are just food for Ren and 6. And despite the fact that I also think that he's playing Uro or something like that, the Kalitas probably has to be enough, right? Something like this. Because Fatal Push, I haven't seen Tarmogoyfs yet. Otherwise, Fatal Push, of course, is also pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this up until the moment that we know more. And then on the play, we could also bring in other stuff. So typically, I would not like to keep the sand. Just because... Lol. And now we've taken out the Nimbles. Which is kind of sad. Alright. Sash Revision is at least an interesting addition here, especially in a deck that already generates so fucking much card advantage. So he's probably also playing Ice Fangcoil. Do I really want to have this? Yeah, probably because of the Croxa. So next turn we have to fight, which means that I probably want to use the Kolaghan's command by the end of turn. This turn, yeah. So he apparently doesn't have a whole bunch of good things to do here. So let's see if he goes Veil of Summer here. Nope, just discards a Lightning Bolt, which I am fine with. And then this one, and now he needs double counterspell. And there's the Veil of Summer, so he did have it played around it well. Needs to have another counterspell here, of course. I probably need to go after the Veil of Summer though. That was not correct. And then 1, 2, 3, which isn't perfect because that's a lot of value that I'm cutting off of the graveyard. But it's definitely worth it. Like, we got rid of the Ancestral Vision. We do have access to Crux on next turn, unless there's a Blood Moon coming. Hunt Master of the Faults, okay. Rented bitch. Yep. I hate this card so fucking much, it's so insane. Oops. Yep. So can't play the Crux at this turn yet, but should be able to do it next turn. Oh my goodness. This is a lot of stuff. So Mystic Sanctuary won't be able to get back the Archmage's Charm yet. But he would be able to go Bloodbraid Elf. So he bolts me end of turn. Darn. I need to get rid of the Ren and 6, otherwise I really have a problem. So Bloodbraid I can deal with at some point, probably. Which means I go after Archmage's Charm. Kill the Ren and 6. Yeah, it would be great to go with another Thoughtseize here, but I don't think that I can afford it. Like, the Croxa can keep things on the battlefield clean. Also, I could not attack with the Tar Pit because of the Lightning Bolt in hand, of course. Ah, he's got Uro as well. And he's got more cards in the bin. So I strongly assume that my opponent is not utilizing the Lightning Bolt here in order to keep me off of that Croxa here from the graveyard. So I could have chosen to actually go with... And this is exactly what I expected. This is exactly what I expected. Alright, so on top of the triggers, I'm gonna go kill the thing. Which will at least require him to get a couple more cards into the graveyard. And now it's our turn to do stuff. What do I need? I need a black source and potentially another blue source. And I mean, obviously here, with him having Uro, me having Croxa. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Thought Scar, interesting. That would have been the card that would give him access to another Uro activation there. So Bloodbraid Elf pretty dead. Alright, double bolt. Sure. So I strongly assume that my opponent is going to take the opportunity to block my Snapcaster Mage if I give it to him. Especially after I've gotten rid of my Terminates, which will give him access to more Uro activations here. But I, of course, can also just get back my Snapcaster Mage from the bin. So I'll just wait. Alright, so he's rather sticking with the cryptic command here than anything else. And I don't want to give him additional information, therefore just gonna wait here. He knows if he's running into a counterspell with that Uro, that is also not going to be great for him because I can potentially Alright, let's hope to find a, well, plus the Storm, not so much. Snapcaster Mage. At least gives me the chance of finding something else. Oh, too many Fluster Storms here. Alright. This means at least that we can get rid of the Uro again, despite the fact that that's not perfect. He shocks to play in Astrolabe, sure. So This is a ridiculous game. Dude, this is so ridiculous. But him getting rid of that Ice Fang Coil there also means that he probably does have a couple of more good things coming up. Also, it's really curious to me that he, yeah, probably Mystic Sanctuary puts back and then Ancestral Vision. Yeah, that's what I would expect as well. There's a Bloodbraid into Ancestral Vision. Yeah, that's pretty good value. And the Blood Moon. Cool. Cool. Alright, we won't win this one. So Brutality is going out, and I want to have Nimbles back, and I also want to have Ashioks. Flusterstorm is also going out because we're not fighting. We're actually not fighting in the air. We're just fighting about graveyards for the most part here, which is insane. Like, there's so much stuff that we have to play around. And of course, yes, I can see a deck that can run 3 colors plus a Blood Moon main and Uro in the graveyard as something that could definitely be very, very well positioned in the meta. Alright. Let's keep this. Take a look at their hands. Then play the Jace. Hopefully have it survive. Random bitch again. Yeah. Go away, you motherfucker. And although it's a cool deck, like I really think it's a cool deck, but just that is lucky. Just because, in my opinion, it's playing too many cards that I would never both play and print. And there's a Blood Moon gun, at least. That is something. Whoops. I don't know what I just deleted. Fuck. So let's see. Can we actually flip it here? 2, 3. Depends on what we draw of the opt, right? So this probably just wants to be an island anyway. Well, that's not bad, but still not anything that I would want to have in hand. There's the call, which is fine. Since our opponent, well, okay, so that's one of the cards that he drew. Well, Brazen Bar, not bad overall, but probably not something that I want to have right now. So we know about the cryptic command. Jace can take care of the Ice Fang Coil. Ah, come on. This is so fucked up, man. That is so fucked up. That's so ridiculous. Fuck this shit, honestly. Worst thing is now I can't even target the fucking Ice Fang Coil with it. Like, so ridiculous. This card is so fucking ridiculous. Just insane. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I really do. So with the Brazen Borer, I'm not too scared of a potential Blood Moon. But there's still a whole lot going on that we have to play around here. Yeah, that was kind of obvious. And he can also put back the Veil of Summer on top of Zek. Surprise, surprise. So this way, of course, he does have the Veil of Summer in hand. Plus he does have the Archmage's Charm to protect himself from Kroxa, potentially. On the other hand, though, I mean, I could Fetch Shock here to play the Kroxa, but as long as that... Yep. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with another island here. So he needs another green source for... Yeah. I'm going to go after the Astrolabe here. I think that's more important than going after that Ice Fang Coil right now. Now we go again. There's an Uro. But now he needs to have another land drop, which he does. Cool. So we won't get access to our Titan unless they have played their Titan, which is ridiculous. Snap, yes. I think I can. Or would want that. So now he knows that we have access to Kroxa next turn. Snap Caster Mage on Thought Scour. Yep. Hunt Master of the Faults. So Ashiok could at least get rid of the Uro, depending on what's gonna happen here right now. He's still got a little bit of an awkward mana situation. But he's going for it. Alright. Yeah, makes sense. So now he needs to have another green source in order to go with his Veil of Summer. Alright then. So let's see. Just give me a second. So I think the best play here is Brazen Borer, bouncing Uro for 2. Then going with Thoughtseize, getting Uro to the bin, and then playing Ashiok. And we have 6 mana and that costs 6. Alright, so let's do that. 1, 2, this. Then we go have a look. Veil of Summer, Veil of Summer. Okay. Ral Viceroy. Okay. So Ral is also a problem, but he won't be able to do both things with that Uro at the same time anyway, right? He only got 5 lands. He would need 7 in order to play it all at once. I'm not sure. I think Ral could actually be a bigger problem here than Uro is. Target creature equal to the number of instants and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. Yeah. Okay. So that deals 3, and he does have 2 blockers, so yeah, let's get rid of that and then just play the Uro here, the Ashiok, and get rid of that as well. So since he cannot really kill the Ashiok right now, I think I'm gonna go attack in here. Yep. Should have attacked first and then decided on going the other way there. Alright, Astrolabe we knew about. And that's one we also know about. Alright, now he's got that. Which means he doesn't have Cryptic or anything of that matter. Ooh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dude. Yeah, probably can't do that anymore. So obviously I could also target myself with the Ashiok, and maybe I would actually do that. Because yeah, because that's actually what counters that. Alright, so I'm gonna target myself since my Ashiok is gonna die next turn anyway. That will only soak so much. What do you have here, friend? So one Veil is gone. He's got an Armage Charm and, well, does have Ashiok by off his own, which is interesting. Okay. Hmm. Fuck. That is also lucky. That's what he drew here. So I think what we can do, we attack. Now, why would I attack, right? There were 5 lands in a row for us? What the fuck? So the mystical dispute at this point doesn't do a whole lot anymore. Snow-covered island, sure. So he can also target himself with the Ashiok, as I mentioned before. Oh. That gives him 3 life if I don't counter it. But I think I want to counter this. Let's play the Brazen Borer here first, so that I play around the mystical dispute. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, then you get that life, sure. Yeah, he's going to target himself, so that he does have access to it next turn. And then it's going to exile my graveyard. So I think I'm gonna, yeah, this is fine. Another Ashiok. Oh shit, yeah, that was... Forgot about it again. So if I bounce this here, then he really has a problem, right? So this one's gone, this one's in the bin. I can play it for 4 and still does have access to that Ice Fang Call, but we've only tap draw for the Desperation move. And the Torpid is actually not a bad one, I would say. Also, there's still 3 bolts in our bin. Not in our bin, in our library, and we're down to 23. So we need consecutive cryptics here to stay alive. And any bolt off the top is just game over. So we've got 3 bolts left, we've got 3 Colligons commands left, which of course also, once we play around a Veil of Summer that he still does have in hand, will be lethal. And I think they're only playing like 2 cryptics, so I don't think that the chance of him having another cryptic command here is very big. And additionally, what the fuck was that? Oh, he targeted us again. So Croxa would have also been pretty good. Of course, Coxa. Snap, yep. So now he needs to tap Bounce. And then is dead to a Lightning Bolt or a K command. Oh. Bot gets lucky again. So let's see if he does have 2 bolts as well. He does have the mana for it, so... Okay, that seems to be an Uro. I might just be looking for another Lightning Bolt here off the top. Maybe he has one already. Or a Snapcaster Mage. We do not exactly know. But he must have some sort of removal spell. So if I go down to 8, do I have... yeah, I should have more. I can't fetch though. So maybe I shouldn't have done this. K command. So he can only block 1 flyer. And if I activate this, like the Torpid, that's not lethal anymore. But he also has to discard something, so... let's see. Alright, so it does have another Ice Fang Call apparently. So that only our... like if it doesn't find a bolt here, then only the Torpid goes through. Interesting choice. By him doing this, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Yeah. Because if you don't have a bolt, then it's just over next turn. This is kind of a commitment. Oh, also has a bolt. Alright. Well, yeah, now it becomes difficult. So at multiple turns here where he was basically dead and then just drew exactly what he needed with the Ashiok first and then a couple of other things. I'm not diminishing his ability here. Played pretty well. Yet still... So there should be a lightning bolt in there, right? To kill us. Plot this. Okay. Now we draw a lightning bolt. Like every other turn would have been fine. Now it's a little late. No, shit. Should have done it differently. I made a mistake. Yeah, I think I made a mistake here. I think I could have won. Unless he out discards the... And he also does have the ability to mystical dispute me. Still. Oh shit. Oh, then it wouldn't have been. Unless he doesn't have another basic anymore. Yeah, Veil of Summer, sure. It's kind of obvious. Oh, I didn't even go for damage here. But yeah, now I actually, whoops, wait. Yeah, now it's over anyway, but it would have been over both ways, even if I didn't stop there. Yeah. So, but talking about what I should have done differently here, I think the winning play here is go Kolaghan's command, deal 2 damage to him, get back the Brazen Borer. He's gonna be forced to use. No, we're still no. Yeah, no, that would have been fine. Yeah, that would have been fine. That would have actually been a winning play here. So, I just saw it a millisecond too late. So the winning play here is Kolaghan's command him, deal 2 damage, get back the Brazen Borer. He has to respond with Veil of Summer. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have a fetchable source for that polluted delta anymore. Therefore, I can then bounce the Bloodbraid Elf with my Brazen Borer, attack for 6, Veil of Summer him, lethal. Fuck. And I saw it a millisecond too late, otherwise we would have won here. Shit. Anyhow, pretty good game. Off to round 5. Alright, welcome back to round number 5. So first of all, Jay, I'm sorry that I only have this as a replay because you played well. But I will explain in just a second. But before I get to that, I just want to say, so last round I said that I did have a winning line there, which I didn't because the Veil of Summer, of course, does give hexproof against black and blue, and therefore I wouldn't have been able to bounce the Bloodbraid Elf with the Brazen Borer, and therefore wouldn't have been able to win that turn anyway. But still a very nice round, I think. So in this one, now Jay types good luck, some to that degree, or just hey. And I type back hey, and I have my stop record video on E. So I, at that point, actually stopped recording, which was quite fatal. So I only have like 20 seconds of this league. Yeah, so round one, it was a back and forth. Jay is playing Death Shadow, decides to concede here because at this point he only had like a lightning bolt and a stubborn denial in hand or something like that, and yeah, we had still a lot of options. And then games 2 and 3, I'll just get there in a second. So yeah, in games 2 and 3, we had a pretty good back and forth, and up until a certain moment, I think I was ahead, and then we just flooded out both games, and Jay just ripped runner. You'll see in just a second. And yeah, we weren't able to do anything after that. So I'm deciding to take the threat, the Death Shadow here, which leaves me open to a land, of course, so that the Snapcaster Mage can take now away my Brazen Borer. With a Surgical, he can get the second Brazen Borer as well, which I don't really care about because he also only has one card left in hand, and that leaves us with equal resources, but still favors me because I do have the more potent spells. Plague Engineer, though, is the first issue, because now I don't really get to do anything with my Snapcaster Mage. But Jay, you should be naming Wizard, not Human, because that also gets nimble. Yeah, so we're just drawing lands. So here I could even still raise, but he rips the second Collective Brutality, which then allows him to actually raise us, and yeah, that's that. And then in round number 3 here, or leg number 3 of this round, we're doing pretty well for the most part, but then we Thoughtseize him, and off the top he draws a Death Shadow backed up by a Plague Engineer, which we then cannot handle, and that is problematic. Yeah, this is a turn, so he goes double Thought Scour, which I'm fine with because that basically filters sand. We Thoughtseize him, take the Snapcaster Mage. He's left with Royal Science, Plague Engineer, and Thoughtseize, which individually doesn't do anything. With a Thoughtseize going on to 6, I could in response also go with a Nimble here, but decide to go with a Lightning Bolt, because if he does have another land here, then he could name Wizards and both of my creatures are dead. But he does have a Death Shadow, and from there I draw 3 lands or 4 lands or something. Yeah. And that of course is backbreaking, especially if you opt there both times. And now he's deciding to play the Plague Engineer instead of the Royal Scions, which would already be lethal here. But I do understand why he would do that, because it's a little bit more cautious. On the other hand, though, it also leaves you open to a top deck bolt, of course. Yeah, so Royal Scions, we're going to 4 to 1, and top deck another land. And that's it. Alright, so that is the round, or the league for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a very interesting, very good league. with, yeah, at least here a little bit of bad luck for us, but overall, like both this and the round 4 against McWinsols were very entertaining, very good, and the rounds before were also cool. So I hope you enjoyed it. I already said that I would probably publish a couple of other videos this weekend, and therefore keep an eye out for those, and we'll see you around in a bit.